section, we learned about user testing methodologies. In this section, we will focus on another methodology, heuristic evaluation. Usability evaluation techniques can be classified into two main branches. One is on predictive techniques, and the other is on real systems or prototypes. With a more academic focus, predictive evaluation offers predictions over the usability of a potential and not yet existent prototype by analytical modeling or simulating the interface. Similarly, real system or prototypes have two subcategories as well. One branch includes and is conducted by users. Methods, or evaluations involving users, which are divided into inquiry methods and testing methods depending on the methodology adopted. The other branch of real system or prototyping are conducted by experts also known as inspection studies. In this branch, the best alternatives are evaluated. One of the branch of expert analysis is heuristic evaluation, our main focus for this section. Although it is just one of the methodologies, the wide use and application of heuristic evaluation in the field of UX, even UI, requires us to devote a chapter to it. How do you know your UX method selection for research is right for your project? Creating a connection between app design and players is like connecting the two banks of a water. UX testing can bridge app design and players, but it is not the only option to leverage experience by users' point of view. There is a backup for user tests, heuristic evaluation. Usability consultants Rolf Molich and Jakob Nielsen developed this method on the basis of several years of experience in teaching and consulting about usability engineering in the 90s. There are many different types of heuristic evaluations, but overall, this technique is the most informal method of usability inspection in HCI. In its simplest form, heuristic evaluation is the methodology to assess UI elements through reviewing the UI against a certain checklist prepared by an expert. The simplicity of heuristic evaluation is beneficial in the early stages of design and prior to user-based testing. Usability heuristics is neither an alternative nor a competitor to usability testing. It's a companion to UX research. They have their own differences, which helps them complement each other. Heuristic evaluation is conducted by UX experts with the relevant skills. A checklist is provided to the designers, and the evaluators stick to these guidelines in its early stages. Evaluators test the whole system in a holistic manner, and these heuristics help them in finding potential issues with the design of the interface. On the other hand, usability testing is conducted by a diverse and non-professional user base, belonging to all walks of life and with limited knowledge and experience. These users are given specific tasks to complete in a screen-by-screen approach. This method assesses real issues within the interface, as the testers were the actual target audience. One of the key differences between these two models is the fact that heuristic evaluators are not the actual target users. However, on the other side, since there is a standardized heuristic checklist, the UX experts give the app a thorough test and are able to observe inconsistencies that a user might overlook. For example, the color of the button of the app, border layout, etc. Please complete the drag the word assignment. Here are the Jakob Nielsen's 10 heuristics for user interface design, which are still applicable to games. You can click on icons to get definitions about heuristics. Heuristics are almost at the same age as Motorola Envoy and Sony Magic Link, which are examples of PDAs, personal digital assistants. They were developed in mid-90s based on Magic Communicating Applications platform, which included mobile agents. These are some early examples of apps. Since then, many things changed in the tech world. The question is whether principles of heuristic evaluation, developed so many years ago with no VR or AR devices, are still valid for today's apps. The number of publications about XR user experience or usability is not much when compared to user experience in general. One example is a study by Quinones and Rusu. They reviewed 73 studies published between 2006 and 2016 related to usability heuristics and found that only small percent of them related to games or mobile devices. The reason for that scarcity about formal studies to establish XR heuristics may be mainly resulted from siloing the knowledge inside the studios and companies, as argued by Sebastian Koch. As a result, most of the applicable and usable knowledge being kept inaccessible to the XR development community. Today, more than 25 years after the replacement of computers with smartphones, Nielsen's heuristics still stand strong and remain valid across all screen types, even the continued rise in the use of XR devices. But Nielsen's 10 principles for heuristic evaluation requires the developer to be an expert in their area. So these principles may not be useful for novice evaluators or individual developers to develop their app. However, there exists a freely available and detailed UX design checklist for VR app development. This checklist contains many yes or no questions, allowing for a more accessible means of developing an app for more novice users and developers. Always be aware that heuristics are not set in stone, nor are they be-all and end-all solution to improve playability. When designing a game, they can and should be violated when there is good reason to do so. The heuristic evaluation method is a ready-to-use tool for developers to improve the quality of their games and for researchers to study playability of games. Here are some takeaways suggested by Pavalainen and Colloquies. Heuristic evaluation is a cost-effective and flexible tool for identifying playability problems, making it suitable for the agile and iterative development process. 3 to 5 double expert means expert in usability as well as subject domain. Inspectors are recommended, but novice inspectors can be also used in greater numbers. The heuristics presented here can be used to evaluate the most important aspects of any type of app. The additional heuristic modules focusing on multiplayer, context-aware, and free-to-use or play apps can be flexibly used when needed. Iterative use of heuristic evaluation helps to improve the design so that actual playtesting can focus on more important aspects than basic playability problems.